8 p.m. show comes to you every Friday at 8 o'clock. We're very sorry that we ran a bit late today to start. It was due to some technical problem and also some delays by our guests, accidents and traffic on the road. Yeah, it took some time before our guests arrived at the studio. We apologize for the delay. So 8 p.m. show comes to you every Friday at 8 o'clock, between 8 and 9, and 8 p.m. show is about the current affairs in Africa, in Nigeria, and actually around the world. Our 8 p.m. show is simply African Pulse magazine. Today, we're going to touch on a number of issues. There is the problem of Ebola in Nigeria, ravaging and raging through West Africa at the moment. What is the cause of Ebola? How long has Ebola been existing in West Africa? Why is it now that it is now an epidemic in West Africa? What are the governments in West Africa, West Africa zone doing? And what is the influence of the Western world? What is the role of America, who is said to be developing vaccines for Ebola, and how they are coming up to assisting West African countries on this issue of Ebola? And also, what is the role of organizations? Just recently, Eco Bank in Nigeria donated $50,000 towards the development of vaccines for the treatment of Ebola. What about other companies? This is when the principles of corporate social responsibilities should be coming up among by the organizations to help the society. We're coming to that later on. Also, in Nigeria, the issue of Boko Haram, it's been going on unending, and in the last few days, Boko Haram has continued to perpetrate its devilish activities, murdering people, destroying properties in the northeastern part of Nigeria. But only yesterday we heard that Cameroon launched an arsenal against Ebola, one of the Ebola's camp, Boko Haram's camp in the city bordering Nigeria and Cameroon. Why is it that Boko Haram is so potent in Nigeria? Why is it that the government has not found solution to this? What kind of solution should government find to it? Is it just military? Should there be any political solutions as well? Viewers, we need you to call in to contribute onto this program as we go on in it. But before we go into the political, economic, and social situations in Nigeria and Africa, I want to take this opportunity to actually remember one of Nigerians, very committed, very respectable child who passed away recently. We lost her to terrible illness of cancer. She died in India. She had been brought back to Nigeria, and only yesterday she was laid to rest. This is in person of a late Professor Dora Akunyili. Dora Akunyili was laid to rest yesterday, and he was survived by her husband and children and members of the society. Actually, lots of bishops and archbishops attended the burial ceremony, and they all joined hands to lay her to rest. Dora Akunyili contributed immensely to the development of the economy of Nigeria in terms of helping Nigeria in the area of drugs. She was the former director of the NL, the Nigerian Drug Agency in Nigeria, and she operated that ministry, that department so well that she won accolades across the world, and she won lots of respect across the world. And from there she moved to the government, and she became the Minister of Information. If not for Dora Akunyili, the issue ravaging Nigeria, bringing Nigeria to its knees when former president of Nigeria, President Adewole, died, when the ministers and the legislators at the National Assembly were actually dragging their feet on what to do. It was Dora Akunyili who came out strongly to tell the whole world the truth, what was happening there. And it was then and only then that people now started to act. Dora Akunyili passed away. May her soul rest in perfect peace. But here with me tonight, I have with me Mr. Kunle Aina. Mr. Kunle Aina is a newly qualified lawyer, a public commentator, and a Nigerian enthusiast. Kunle, Dora Akunyili was an enigma, wasn't she?
Yeah, good evening, viewers. It's nice to be back with you to discuss political, social, and economic issues concerning our country and the entire continent. Yeah, Dora Akunyili, one of our own, a very, very strong woman, a wife of virtue, a strong mother, and indeed a leader with integrity. I want to support the statement that you made concerning what she did during the political crisis we had when our former president, may his soul rest in perfect peace as well, President Adewole, disappeared from the country, and the whole country was in political chaos, and we had a lot of politicians from the ruling party that were playing hanky-panky with the lives of Nigerians, took it upon themselves to to help themselves in whatever way. I'm not going to go into the details, but they know what they did, and those political players that were involved. At the end of it, when Nigeria started to look like the laughing stock of the world, it was Dora Akunyili that came to the Nigerians' rescue, and she came out amongst all the president's ministers and decided to come forth and tell the whole world what was going on. Even at that, while she was at it, she was hounded by her colleagues. She was attacked viciously by her colleagues. Nevertheless, she did not look back. She went as far as, doing what she thought was necessary, and ordered the ministers, her colleagues, to do what they are supposed to do, get the letter that they needed to get to the House of Rep in order for them to do what they need to do, which eventually led to the emergence of our present president, Goodluck Jonathan, to become acting president before a couple of days or a couple of weeks after President Adewole passed. So I'll leave it at that. Well, may her soul rest in perfect peace. Nigeria has lost a very, very dear mother, a dear sister, aunt, wife, and a committed leader to the Nigerian cause.
Thank you very much, Kunle Aina, for for that really good speech on Dora Akunyili. She's passed away. May her soul rest in peace.
Amen.
We need to move on. We commiserate with her people, her family, her community, and the entire Nigeria on her passing away. Now, death comes in many ways. We've just spoken about Dora Akunyili. That was due to cancer, we gathered. But there is another potent source of death in Nigeria and in West Africa in the last few weeks, and that is Ebola. This Ebola virus has been ravaging, claiming lives across West Africa. Now, record has shown us that over 1,000 people, 1,000 lives have been claimed by Ebola, and yet it seems nobody has actually yet to find any tangible solution to this. Why? What do you think about this?
Yeah. The shocking part of it is that this Ebola now has entered our own dear nation, Nigeria. It's
present across Nigeria now, from Lagos to other parts of Nigeria. Now it has gone to River State. Doctors are dying. Doctors who are treating Ebola patients are dying. Even the wife of the latest doctor who died in River State is being quarantined now because information gathered that she's been contracted, she's been infected as well. So this is going on and on and on and on in Nigeria, and yet nothing tangible is being done. What's going on?
I want to say something before I go after my own country leaders. I want to go after the leaders of West Africa before I go to Africa. Well, I'm not going to concern myself with the entire continent of Africa, but
West Africa
for now. I want to talk about West African leaders.
Yeah, go on.
Now, this Ebola problem has happened. I think the first time I was aware of Ebola was about 10 years ago, thereabouts.
Okay.
And the reason why I said I have to go after the West African leaders is that when that Ebola came out, and I started to pay attention to it. This is about well over I think it was around 2003. I saw I got my first introduction to Ebola on BBC News, and I think it was in I believe it was in Gambia or one of those countries. I can't remember.
West Africa.
West Africa, very close to our own side of West Africa.
Okay.
And what I saw on TV was very frightening. Now, what I meant by frightening is that even when AIDS came, with all the scaremongering and everything, people eventually got acquainted with the disease, whereby I have even worked closely with
AIDS patient,
an AIDS
infected patient.
Yeah, patient in America, in Chicago, years ago. A white man, very, very, very educated. I can't remember how he came into getting the disease, but the thing about AIDS is that you are still able to get closer, interact with the victims of this disease. But with Ebola, you cannot begin to quantify the fright of the moment you are suspected to have Ebola. You are immediately isolated.
An Ebola infected patient who was treated in Lagos by a doctor and probably a nurse or something.
Yeah.
He urinated on the doctor, and the doctor caught it straight away.
Immediately, and
the doctor had to be actually or transported or moved to America.
Yeah, it's very
to be treated. Highly contagious.
It's very frightening.
So how are we going to go about finding solutions?
As I was saying earlier on, I'm going after West African leaders. if you are not prepared to work for your people, there is no point coming out there making false campaigns and then getting to office. I mean, why does it have to be the West that has to wake us up to our responsibilities? Every time there's a crisis in that part of the world, it's when the Prime Minister of the UK or the President of France or the President of America, far away America, comes on the air. That is when the West African leaders now wake up and they want to come in front of their cameras and start talking about the problem. You are supposed to come out in the first instance, go after the Westerners if you believe they are able to help you, not the other way around. Now we are in a situation now, in a very terrible situation where ordinary innocent citizens are going to be suffering. They won't be able to travel out because there has been traveling bans now, and I am very, 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 very frightened that very shortly Nigeria may be marked. I mean, I believe Liberia, Sierra Leone, they've got travel bans to almost all the countries
and
in the West.
trade along West Africa. The countries have actually closed
along the West Coast. They've closed their ports.
Their ports.
So that is not going to help a troubling, poverty-stricken West Africa with all these problems. So
Western Islands are actually suspending.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And Liberia has been grounded completely. Yeah, these are countries where people are living. People are not even living. They're just barely surviving.
Okay, that's the situation. What is the solution? What do you think West African government should do, or West African people in general? What should we do to arrest this very, very deadly situation? I mean, for example, EcoBank has given money towards the development of vaccine. Governments, should they wake up to their responsibilities? Yeah, federal government actually gave about $something billion as well. What about the government? What about the companies? Corporate social responsibility. What about the organizations? This Ebola can actually catch up with anyone.
Yeah.
So what should the society be doing?
I'm not a health expert. We can only come up with ideas. The governments in all these West African countries should wake up to their responsibility. And I mean, Nigeria has had a Minister of Health since I have grown to understand Nigeria as my country. What have the Minister of Health been doing? And I will tell you what the Minister of Health had been doing in Nigeria. Absolutely nothing, because I don't even know his name. And somebody can query me on that. Why should I know the Minister of Health's name who is not doing anything? I can only remember one health minister in Nigeria, and that's Professor Olukoye Ransom-Kuti. And he was there the longest of all or any health minister I've ever known. And he was on his job. He was on it. He was on it like flies on food. You know? I don't know the name of Nigeria's health minister. The only time you see our health ministers they are either holding symposiums and conferences. That is not what health ministers do. You go after national issues affecting the citizens, and this is one national pandemonium, and it will sweep the whole country if they don't do, and if they are still waiting for a leader in the West to now tell them what to do. If you don't know what to do, resign and let somebody come in. And I want to go back to our dear beloved aunt, mother, wife that we lost, Dora. When she was appointed the Minister of Information, Nigerians were not happy about that. Our leaders, our president should try to get off their political bipolar problem. How dare you appoint Dora Akunyili the Minister of Information when you could have appointed somebody like that the Minister of Health, and something may have happened in that department. Nothing has happened in the Ministry of Health since the Professor Olukoye Ransom-Kuti left that office. that office had become a rent seeker's position for every political any individual that has held that office. They've done nothing. They are always doctors or professors with no added value to their profession. So I have one idea that just came into my mind. For all the clinics and hospitals that we have, they should go into these hospitals and try to demarcate a particular section of the hospital, because it's obviously a disease that makes the establishment have to isolate the victims of this disease.
Yeah, but what about the development of vaccines for this?
Yeah, we need laboratories, we need scientists, doctors, experts, scientific
resources across the world.
Nigerians are capable. Nigerians are in the science laboratories of the top 10 countries in the world. Nigerians are doing wonders.
So top medical experts across West Africa should work in collaboration with top medical officers around the world, because Ebola is now going across the world.
It's in London.
It has reached the UK.
Yeah, it's in London
for
now.
example.
Somebody was isolated. Somebody was stopped. I think it was 3 days ago.
So the Western world should not see it as an African issue. It's a world.
Oh no, they haven't.
It's a global issue.
They haven't, because they know it's going to become a very big problem.
It's spread very quickly.
Really
so West African top medical experts, medical researchers, to work together with the rest part of the world to quickly develop vaccines that will help to treat these patients, so that loss of life lives could be saved from this deadly disease. Okay, that could be one good solution. I want to read from the papers that I have in my hand. President Jonathan inaugurates new electronic ID card for Nigerians. But let me read from this paper, and when I read from this paper, I will give us a good background of the what is going on there. So President Goodluck Jonathan formally launched a national electronic identity card, which all Nigerians will have to have by 2019 if they want to vote. That means without your electronic card you cannot vote. So it will be kind of your voting card by 2019. Further away from that, he said he received the first biometric card, which can also be used to make electronic payments, coming up to kind of Oyster card in the UK. So it can be used to do electronic payments. MasterCard is providing the prepaid payment element, and he hopes millions of Nigerians without bank accounts will now gain access to financial services.
Wow.
It's going to the ID card is going to be a kind of MasterCard as well.
Yeah. Wow.
An attempt to introduce national card in Nigeria 10 years ago failed, and the reason for that is said here was due to corruption and problem of equipment to do it. The card is not only a means of satisfying your identity, but also a personal database, repository, and payment card, all in your pocket, President Jonathan said at the launch in the capital, Abuja. This is technology, and this is one of the benefits of advanced technology. Nigeria being what the level of technological development that we are now, and with the level of a kind of low level of education in Nigeria, how do you think this ID card will help to elevate lives of ordinary people in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I actually saw the headline as I was going through my my news correspondence on on the internet this afternoon, but I didn't have a chance to read it. But since you've just read it,
that's the background. Those things that the ID card can do for you.
It sounds like a very good idea. It sounds like a very good idea. I certainly do hope that this will not be an avenue for one of the boys to dip their hands into the till, and because that has always been the case with Nigeria. I'm getting sick and tired of it. This idea of the national ID, I mean, we know what happened with the first one. I was a part of that one. I registered.
It was to be launched in the UK, but forces were against it, weren't they?
Yeah, I think the first issue when that came up in the UK was, I believe, it was the financial commitment that it was going to cost about.
People were scared that the data can easily.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the comprehensive. That was one of the comprehensive.
So that's my fear about this national ID card that is all in one pot in Nigeria with our level of development. Is that what we need now, or what do we need? Is that what we need?
That is the reason why
in a country where there's no level of education.
That is why I said in my opening comment is that
we have a caller now. Okay, thank you for calling, caller. Can you tell us your name, where you calling from, and give your contribution, please?
Good evening, Dr. Bisi, Adewole. This is Prof.
My good friend. Welcome.
Yes,
thank you.
How are you, sir?
Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. With Ebola.
Ebola, yes.
The first question that I would love all Nigerians all over the world is that, are we sure that the cause of Ebola is the bushmeat, which is very palatable that we Nigerians.
Sorry, what did you say? How are we sure that the cause of Ebola is what?
Yes, how are we sure that the cause of Ebola is caused by the bushmeat, which we Nigerians enjoy?
Oh, the bushmeat.
Yes.
Yeah, because they traced the cause to the dry bushmeat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is the question. We Nigerians, we should ask ourselves, because when there's a problem and we don't identify that problem and we don't tackle that problem, the problem will still arise. That is the first question.
Okay.
I would like our government. Now, Ebola has come.
Prince Oshinusi, you know, bushmeat has always, from time immemorial, been eaten in Nigeria, across Nigeria. And if it was the source of Ebola, then Nigeria should not be 200 million people today.
That's what I'm saying. Because we Nigerians are going from, even not from the west, the whole Nigeria, both east and south and west and north, we all love our bushmeat. The northerners love their suya. The easterners love their ACO. And we, the westerners, we love the bushmeat, which we use to cook for egusi, and even with curry. You understand what I'm saying? Ebola, yes sir, Ebola has come now. What our government are doing to tackle it? Okay, somebody had Ebola in America. That person has been killed and is gone back home. And the whole America trusted their government, trusted their medical teams. That man is now being accepted in their society. But in the case of Nigeria, if somebody of such has been killed of Ebola, that person will be isolated. Even his family will be disowned. So we need to educate ourselves
in
that level again.
In essence, Mr. Shinusi, that means that Ebola has a treatment, because that medical personnel who was taken to America was healed within days.
That's what I'm saying.
So that means the vaccine, that it's an existing vaccine that can cure Ebola. So why is it not produced in large quantity by America to help West Africa out?
God bless you, Adewole. That's what I'm saying now. And why can't our government, with the resources we got, with the money we got, why can't they go to America and purchase the necessary treatment, the necessary injection, the necessary personnel needed? You see, the best soldier in America today is a Nigerian. most of the GPs in this country, their heirs are Nigerians. We have the personnel, we have the resources, we have the financial resources. Why can't our government go into deep and tackle this problem before it eradicates?
Yeah.
Before it escalates and eradicate it completely? As far as I'm concerned, the cause of Ebola, I don't think it's the bushmeat. If it's the bushmeat, the number of deaths must have been will be increasing, not in geographical, will be written in multiples of 8 per day.
So what do you think will be the cause if it's not the bushmeat that is
thank you, sir. I don't know the cause. That's why I say a research should be done. And you know what? Instead of our government to get necessary something, do you know what they did? They went and bought sanitizer that you can buy in booths here. And Jonathan was commissioning that. I saw it.
Professor Maurice Wu, a professor of chemistry, who was also the chairman of independent national electoral commission. Actually proposed that eating of kola nut and orobo will cure Ebola.
People said no.
Is that acceptable?
And people there and they said it is bad and salt.
That's the kind of scientists we have in Nigeria.
You see, we Nigerians, even what of our traditional medicine can even cure Ebola. But our people does not believe in traditional medicine. Where do you have the babalawos? Where do you have the pastors? Where do you have the imams? And we have these people and we have these people on the radio saying if you have any problem, if you have any disease, come, we pray for you, we cure it. Why can't they cure Ebola?
Do you think prayer can cure Ebola?
Yes.
You sincerely believe so?
That's something, but if they can't cure it, why are they better advertising on the radio that if you have any disease, come to us, in the name of Jesus Christ, it will be cured. Why can't the Christian Association of Nigeria, their neighbors, the Renegos and co, why can't they clear Ebola? When they're saying them other diseases, we can cure it.
Do they really have the healing power?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So what I'm saying now is that our government are not doing the right thing. Instead of just commissioning sanitizer, which you can buy in booths to clean your hand, that's what they use billions to go and buy and put in offices and areas for people to be using to clean their hands.
Yeah.
You can't really get that in booths. And I'm surprised the whole president commissioning with other governors. So what I'm talking about?
That's Ebola. What about Boko Haram in Nigeria?
You see, excuse me, the problem is that I don't know what's happening. One problem is not solved, another problem is arising.
It's arising, yeah.
So that means that we really need purification for Almighty God to forgive we all Nigerians. Look at the Shiba girls. That has been forgotten.
Okay.
Boko Haram, that has been forgotten. Now it's Ebola. Now 2015.
So who knows what is coming next?
So all is all football. Everything is football government, sir. Thank you, Dr. Adewole. God bless you.
Thank you for your contribution. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Prince Oshinusi, a regular caller on this show, has actually contributed immensely to this program. You heard his views. What do you think? He believes that the pastors, the imams have roles to play in the cure of Ebola, as well as our traditional traditional medicine people that have roles to play. Having said that, he is not saying that the Western medicine does not have a role to play as well. It's actually calling that all hands should be on deck to find solution to this problem of Ebola.
Well, yeah, I disagree with Prince Oshinese's views on the fact that imams, popes, bishops, and all the clergies. No, I would not subscribe to that.
You mean this is a purely medical issue?
It is medical, because these are the bipolar, schizophrenic ideas of Nigerians. Before you know it, you're going to have a lot of people with Ebola in the church,
and people will be dying in thousands.
Then we cannot continue to be silly and foolish in our ways of trying to solve Nigeria problem. No imams, bishops, and popes, because that will be another avenue to bring more chaos into the society. Now, if the popes and the bishops and the pastors and all of them,
they will take advantage and start making money.
Of course, if they want to, if I want to go the Nigerian way, I have another way of going the Nigerian way. Foolish as it appears to me, yeah, they can go to the hospitals and go and pray for them in the hospital, but I'm not going to subscribe to a situation where Ebola patients will now start going to Christ Apostolic Church, Mountain on Fire, Celestial. What is
to get cured?
To get cured by prayer? No, you are actually going to cause a pandemonium.
Okay, so in your view, this is a purely
it's medical issue. And our herbalists, our traditional doctors can get involved as well. If anybody has Ebola, they have their own
medicine,
their own venues where people can come, patients can come to them, and they have special places with like their own little clinics where people can come to them, and it's just mad.
So you are in agreement with that, with Prince Oshinese, that traditional herbalists can come? Traditional medicine can be used to cure them.
Of course.
Okay. They can prepare concoctions.
The African way we do things.
Yeah. Okay. That's that. Okay. Let's move on to another issue. We move away from the issue of ID card. We go to the issue of we go to a little bit of politics. Someone, Edwin Clark, actually warned the PDP that the former EFCC boss who defected to PDP from APC is he has no political value in him, and that the PDP should watch how they imbibed him or embraced him into the fold of PDP, particularly when he has now picked up the ticket to contest for governorship in Adamawa. What do you think? Ribadu is a well-known person in Nigeria. Ribadu was very articulate when he was director of EFCC. He was like the most feared person after Obasanjo at that time in Nigeria. He went into politics. He became the presidential candidate for ACN, who was then the main opposition to PDP, now APC, and it seems APC are not actually interested in him to be their presidential candidate, and in the pursuit of his political ambition, he has recently this week defected to PDP in order to become Adamawa State Governor. In that state, in the last election, when he was the presidential candidate for ACN, he scored very, very low votes. Now he wants to go to Adamawa State to be their governor. What do you think? Edwin Clark warned that he has no political value. Do you share that view?
I don't understand where Chief Edwin Clark is coming from.
Okay.
I do find fault in the fact that Ribadu has been flip-flopping all over the place, but who knows? If it's for the development of that state, which it's quite clear that, or apparent that Ribadu may bring some changes or something that the people of Adamawa had never seen before. It's possible. If that is the best they can come up with to getting the best from the dividends of democracy, I'm all for it.
Do you not think that other governorship candidates, because other governorship candidates in that state are now they have now ganged up together against Ribadu? They really wanted to fight against Ribadu as one, not to allow him to become the governor of that state, because the PDP is actually waiving their constitution for Ribadu. To become a governorship candidate, you must have been a member of that party for a period of time, maybe 9 months or 18 months, their constitution says, I don't know. But Ribadu only defected, only under 1 week. And he had already picked up a governorship ticket. He has not met that criteria to be a governorship candidate. So, special treatment, or why?
To me, it's not special treatment. I will call it even being Ribadu to be involved in this.
In this kind of
this is in most cases the Nigerian way. What cannot happen in that country?
If Ribadu can get involved in this kind of...
Exactly. It's scandalous. It's scandalous. It's obviously, I mean, for people that have integrity in the country, they are quite totally disappointed with Ribadu.
This shows how desperate people are to get to a position of power.
Yeah, but I don't want to see. I'm not going to condemn and knock Ribadu down like that because of what he had done for the country. You understand? Because like I said earlier on, who knows if he eventually emerges the governor of Adamawa State? Who knows, maybe that is going to be the next place to go for most Nigerians by the time he finishes what he has to do. So I mean, I'm all for...
Is he going to be able to conquer Boko Haram? That's the Boko Haram zone. And Boko Haram has actually declared a caliphate between Adamawa and Nasarawa State. In this week, they declared a caliphate, like what is happening in Iraq.
Well, like I said,
so Nigeria come to the rescue of that state.
Of course, Ribadu can come. Listen, Ribadu was the EFCC chairman a few years ago. Obasanjo gave him what normally should be, it should have been what I call, he gave him an open book to do his job. And Ribadu even went further. He went further than the boss expected him to go. It was all for the good of Nigeria as a whole. It's not about a few individuals, a few political jobless here and there that are raping the country. Ribadu actually did what he needed to do, and people can say that he overdid it. He overran the constitution. No, that is all an excuse for most Nigerians to continue their dirty ways. Ribadu did what he needed to do as at the time that Nigeria needed him to do what he did, and Nigerians needed that country to be cleaned up of corruption by political office holders.
Even when he was arresting relatives of people who
were in government.
He was arresting wives and children of people he was after. When he could not catch up with those people, he arrested the wives and children. In law, as a lawyer, is that legal? Is there any legality in that?
You see, Doctor, we can go around this conversation. I'm still going to go back to the way these are the kind of talk, and I call them Gulda or beer parlor talk. We Nigerians say a lot of things behind closed doors, but when we are in front of the camera, we chicken out and we cannot say the rubbish and nonsense we say in the back room. Now, everybody knows that most Nigerians, most politicians, or most Nigerians that have raped the country financially, stolen money here and there, are practically, technically above the law. Now, to show you how sincere,
so he was above the law.
These are my words. No, it's not above the law. These are my own. These are my own views about the way he carried out his duty.
Okay.
With what he had, considering the environment he was operating in.
He had to arrest innocent people.
They were not innocent.
They were not.
They were Nigerians were saying they were innocent. They are not innocent.
They
are not innocent. Mention any of the people you are talking about that were innocent. All of these people that everybody went after had actually got skeletons in their cupboard.
I mean their relations, their wives.
The relations, they had their money in the till too. Oh yes.
But there were no cases found against them. If there were cases found against their husband, they could not. Everybody could not get hold of their husband. He arrested the wives and children. Because it's against the law.
I know, but what law? Do we have a law in the country?
We do.
No, we don't.
There are laws.
No, we don't.
It is just that the laws are not respected. So everybody did not respect the law.
No, there is no law in Nigeria.
Did not respect the law.
I know, but we can all say everybody did not respect the law. Who respects the law in Nigeria? Nobody. So, in order for him to do his job and get accolades of the suffering masses, he has to break the law because people are using that as a soft landing.
So where has that led us to today? What thing he did?
Ribadu was not given a chance to do his job. At the end of the day, he was hounded out of office by the same ruling party that came back into office via President Ribadu. They removed him. They hounded him out of the same political party. That shows you the trickery and the fraudulence of all the politicians within the ruling party that were in political offices. None of them are serious, starting from our former president. They are not all serious leaders. They are not there for the betterness of the country. That is why it's always hanky-panky here and there. Ribadu was trying to do his job. But did they give him the chance? Initially, former president gave him an open hand. Go after them.
So the flip-flopping from one political party to the other that he is doing now, is that actually a clear indication that sometimes he doesn't know what he's doing?
I believe he knows what he's doing. I'm not supporting. Or is
it that he's just demonstrating his democratic right?
I'm not supporting illegality. I don't subscribe to illegality.
Yeah.
But most Nigerians that want to criticize Ribadu should come and tell me how clean they are in the politics of Nigeria. Most of the people criticizing of Ribadu today are flip-flopping from one party to have jumped from one party to another. So most of them are throwing stones in their glass houses. Yes, they don't have the moral right to criticize Ribadu.
Okay. Edwin Clark, one of the political fathers of the South actually declared him as someone who has no political value. You don't agree with that?
I don't understand what it means. He has no political value. He needs to explain that in more depth. What does that mean? That he doesn't have political. Who has political value in that country?
Okay.
Who does?
Right. Now, okay, let's leave that. Election is coming up in 2015.
Yes.
Let's start to project from now. How, with what happened in Osun State, in Ekiti State, when 2015 election comes around, or elections come around,
the general election.
Yeah. How do you think it's going to be?
How do I think? I cannot think and say what I am fearing.
What are you fearing?
Well, I'm not going to say about what I'm fearing. I will say this, that I certainly hope that the leaders, INEC, the president, and all the political players in the country would try to make sure that.
Okay, we have a caller now. Caller, I'm going to be the last caller on this show because we're running up. Please be quick. Can you tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your questions or your contributions, please.
Thank you. This is Ezekiel. This is Adewole speaking.
Oh.
I'm interested in your topics tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Unfortunately, some of the line is not clear enough.
Oh, the line is not clear enough. Sorry.
It's wobbly and murmuring, but fortunately, I'm interested in all the subjects anyway. The one you are talking about now is about the Russian state election.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one of August 9?
The August 9 election where people actually voted for their own candidates. They refused to be intimidated. They refused to be couched into their rooms. They came out to vote for their candidate of choice.
Are you going to
are we expecting that in 2015?
It depends on how the case in the court goes. You know, some of the victims that went to court now, they have been to court now. Some of the victims, some of those who were arrested and locked up for this are now in court.
And the person who lost, the candidate who lost is also in court as well.
Thank you. But some of those who are locked up, who are terrorized by some servicemen, the covered one and the uncovered one. The people have already, about 15 of them are going to court now. They want to get 1 billion plus from them because of the harassment. If the case is in favor of the case goes in their favor, probably it is in favor of all Nigerians for the coming elections.
Yeah.
Then they will not be used again. But if the case did not favor them, if the court say that they are okay, then they may continue using them in the next election. Then it means that the country is going to be experiencing such a thing nearly all over the state of the federation come 2015.
Okay.
Apart from that, the issue of election is still on because it's now in the court of law. Because the loser have already gone to court. They say I was told that he employed 7 SAMs.
Seven senior advocates of Nigeria. Yeah. And they prepare about over 500 pages of
870 pages are the
that's right, 800 and something pages.
Depending on the outcome of the court, then the thing that the temple will still be on both sides. Those the loser and the winner, they are on rest because they're like looking. When the case is in the court, both of them will be muzzling, taking the muzzles and convince the court that they are winners. And the true winner will come out in the court of law. I think because the judges in the court, our judges in Nigeria, I think they are professionals. They will not undo what is not in favor of the public.
But don't you think, Mr. Teojaye, that the decision of the aggrieved to go to court instead of resorting to violence is a development, an appreciable development on our democracy?
It's a good development. That's another one that I want to refer to. Going to court is better than Georgia, is better than war. In the court of law, they are going to use their mouth to talk, not their fist.
That's right.
And in the civilized society, that's the best thing to do.
So
because judiciary is the third arm of government.
Yeah.
If everybody, if the majority of people that are victims in Nigeria go to the court to look for to fight for their rights, it would have been better for everybody or for every one of us. For instance, the election should not be the only reason to go to court. People can go to court for other reasons. What of NEPA that the producing light and the producing battery will black out and make money? Why can't people go to court and fight against such a thing? If they go to court, they should try their luck and see. But the judge in the court is also a victim. No judge is living. They are not living on the bed. They are not living in another planet. They live in a community. Are they enjoying the pay for blackout? No. If they are enjoying it,
so
their family.
People do not understand the extent of their human right, to extent to which their human right actually goes. They just think your human right is only when someone slaps you or rid you of your money.
That is why people like you should continue the tempo. And let people know the reason why they should use the third arm of government. Because third arm of government, that is the judiciary, is on holiday. They never make use of them. They are not exhausted. Some of them are idle. They should keep them busy with various type of.
Was the idleness due to long intervention of the military, where no right is respected?
But the military has gone for long. How many years we should start it now?
People are still living as if they were. People are still living as if they were ruled by the military. People, is that the reason why we're at this stage of awareness? If the military had left us alone to make our mistakes and correct it for years and years back, maybe we would have developed far beyond this level.
It's true. But yet we need to know that we are now in civilian government, which have three arms, three arms: judiciary and the legislative, and also the executive. Three of them are going hand in hand. They are partners. You don't relegate any of them into the bin. Judiciary should be used, because the court will never call you to come and look for his pocket. You have to go to court and tell the court what you are looking, what you want. That's the reason why judiciary need to be kept busy. And that's why our teachers in the schools, primary schools, secondary school and university should let the students know the importance of judiciary in our community.
No.
I think that will be helpful for those who are suffering without reason, without no justification.
Thank you, Mr. Koyai. But before you go, what one key message do you have for Nigerians? We should not stop praying, but we should not stay on praying only. We should act. The fact is that anything that we need, we should follow it up with action. The other I'm talking about is not to go on the street and start shouting or burning houses, but use the avenue, appropriate avenue, to let the people know what you want for the individual, and God will also help us. Okay, thank you. I agree with you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, Mr. Akunyili, this is where we're going to draw the curtain. But before we go, what's that one message that you have for Nigerians?
Well, the next elections is coming very soon, in a few months, about 4 or 5 months from now. Nigerians will be going to the polls to select their political leaders. Most Nigerians have, this is from my own perspective, most Nigerians have given up on their vote. They said that their vote doesn't count. This is where we use the media as a tool to educate Nigerians. In spite of all the problems, destiny will judge us if we don't do what is right. All Nigerians, and I mean all eligible voting Nigerians, Nigerians that are eligible to vote, should go out en masse. It helps when everybody eligible goes to the polling station. You do not be intimidated by the security forces on the ground. Go out there en masse. Everybody, do not stay in. Old, young, women, men, teenagers that are voting age, everybody should go out there and exercise their voting right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, viewers. This is where we're going to be drawing the curtain today. We finished late because we started late. So, but next time, Friday, it will not be like that. Please be with us 8 o'clock next Friday on this program, 8 p.m. show on Prestige TV. Until we'll see you next week, we say thank you to you from this end. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Sọ̀rọ̀ ògo rẹ̀ láàrin gbogbo kèfèrí o. Àti ti ṣe ìyanu rẹ̀. Ẹ wá sẹ́nu ọ̀nà rẹ̀ tẹ̀yìn tí ọpẹ́. Àti sábàlá rẹ̀.